And now, love, forever and ever and ever.
What is up, everyone? Jacob here, and yes, Shadow of War has been released, and people have had a few days now to play the game, including myself. So I'm going to take some time to kind of go over how I feel about it, kind of some early thoughts about the game. So first and foremost, the gameplay of this game it's pretty similar to Shadow of Mordor. I like to consider it something of like Assassin's Creed 2, you know? It keeps the same format, but spices it up, improves the things that, you know, everybody liked and really focuses on that. And as far as, you know, slaying endless hordes of orcs and other monsters, the game's super fun. If you feel like a tank, you feel like a brutal, monstrous dude with a sword. It's awesome. You cut dang orcs in half, you slice and dice them up. It just makes you feel so powerful. And this carries over in the missions and quests. Now, there is some talk about the quests, you know, the side missions for this game being a bit grindy. It's kind of like, you know, people saying that you're doing the same thing a lot of the time. And now, you kind of are, but there's multiple options to each side mission. And, you know, you can change it up each time. I kind of wish that there would have been more true side quests, kind of like what you see in, you know, Witcher and the Elder Scrolls games. But Shadow of War is not really trying to be a true RPG, you know, it's kind of banked on these big, epic sort of battles with the Nemesis system. But the main story itself is leagues above that from Shadow of Mordor. Now, I've enjoyed the first little part of it that I've played. All the voice actors do an amazing job. The introduction of new characters is done pretty dang well, you know. The Middle-earth has had a hard time of making new characters that aren't from, you know, the original stories of Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. It all plays out really well, and I really love how you're getting that nice backstory to, like, Gondor and the orcs. You pick up the artifacts, and it gives you this cool Tomb Raider or Uncharted-like description of, you know, the item. It gives you a little history and a little lore, and I love that. I'm a big Middle-earth nerd, so any more stuff I get is awesome. So let's move on to, you know, what we here at DangerVille like to specialize in, the monsters. So the monsters I've got to see so far are the Caragor, the Graug, and some of the spiders and the ghouls. You know, not everything yet, but I've seen a good bit of them, and I like them. They feel good. They're a little bit more controllable, a little bit more useful than how they were in Shadow of Mordor. And they're a little bit harder to tame, to jump on their back. You have to get them weak first and focus on, you know, dealing with orcs and them at the same time and then jumping on them instead of, you know, getting to get on them a lot easier in Shadow of Mordor. So they made that a little bit more challenging. I do wish, however, that there was more variety in the monsters. Just the fact that it's a Caragor and the Graug, pretty much the exact same as the first game, is kind of upsetting. But they improved them. They both look visually cool, and it's good. I just wish there would be a little bit more variety in the monsters that they've put in the game. But I have a good bit more to go, and I'm sure I'll see some more. Now let's talk about the graphics and the terrain for Shadow of War. Now, graphically, the game is what I would like to say good damn enough. You know, it's nothing like blow your mind. It's not like Witcher 3's environments where it just looks so beautiful, or once again Tomb Raider with, you know, that graphics in that game look amazing. You know, it's nothing that'll blow your mind, but it's good enough. It's above a lot of other games, and it looks like what a game should look like in 2017. So no complaints on the graphics, and the environments themselves are massive. It is definitely more big than Shadow of Mordor, a lot more variety and everything, and I've only seen a couple of the locations at this point. So they've done really good at that. It is a lot more Assassin's Creed-like in its setup this time around, a lot more tall buildings, a lot more verticality, but there's still a good amount of open plains and awesome structures, both with Gondor and with the orcs. It's really pretty. It's done well. There is a complaint that I do have, how it kind of feels like the game is a bit too vibrantly colored. I kind of wish it had more of that At least when you're going into the Mordor sort of part, which it kind of does, but the colors are a little bit too much like bright greens, like the orcs are like all green, yellow, and all that stuff. I kind of wish that they would stay more brown and black and grays and all that, but that's just my personal preference and my deep love for the Lord of the Rings movies. It looks more like The Hobbit instead of the Lord of the Rings, in short, is what I'm getting at. Moving on to the music, the score of this game so far. I really enjoy it. It's got this nice earthy sort of metal sort of sound to it, kind of like, hitting on an anvil, swords clanging together. It's got this good, wild feel to it. However, I do have some problems that the music doesn't seem to be thunderous enough. It doesn't stand out. You really can't hear it when you're fighting, and I kind of wish they focused more on just making some really like doom-based, kind of like intensity with the music, to where as you're fighting, the music is fueling you. But unfortunately, the music drifts away in the background when you start to fight, and you can't even really hear it. And you can't turn it up anymore either. So that's kind of an issue in my opinion, but I really do enjoy the score and the music so far. I just wish they would have emphasized it a bit more. Alright, real quick, let's talk about the RPG elements of the game. Collecting armor, collecting weapons, all that good stuff. I enjoy it. Now, I really wish that there was like, kind of like a hunt to it, where you find chests, kind of like a classic with RPGs, you find a little box, you open it, you get cool stuff. In Shadow of War, you kill guys and they drop little glowy random emblems. You pick them up and it gives you your armor or your weapon or whatnot. And now when you go into the system, the upgrading, it's simple. It does the job. And it's got cool little challenges that you can upgrade your armor or your weapons. And that really kind of makes it fun. I don't really like how it's based off the orcs, but it's solid. All the different armors and weapons, they all look pretty dang cool. I kind of wish that it wasn't like you get something cool and then in like 5 minutes you get something that's better. So it's kind of like you can't really connect with your look too well, at least not at first, because you're constantly getting new stuff and you're constantly changing it, and that's kind of an issue of what we're going to get into pretty soon. As far as leveling up your skills and all that, it seems to happen pretty quick. Now, I do a lot of the side missions and I collect a lot of the artifacts and all that, so it ranks me up even quicker to the point where I'm getting skill points quite often, and it feels good. It doesn't feel like too grindy as far as ranking up Talion and making him more of a badass. So let's get to what everybody's wanting to get to and talk about: the microtransactions and DLC. From my experience, I have not had the urge to go to the micro market list other than to just check it out. You don't need to go to it. You find stuff pretty quickly throughout the game, which kind of bothers me even more. It's like the microtransactions were literally just thrown into the game to get those few people who like to spend their money on a game to just milk their pockets a little bit. I guess if you go into the multiplayer side of things and you get these badass orcs and whatnot, it kind of affects that a little bit. But for like a person that just enjoys a game for the story, there's no need to go to the market. There's no purpose for it. So they just put it in there just to get those certain people to pay money on it. And this game was getting Game of the Year, Game of the Year, Game of the Year, every single video. People were stoked. But then for some reason they put in this dumb system that they didn't need to do, and it harshed the experience for the game. I'm sure if they didn't announce that the amount of people that are saying they're not going to buy the game now that would have bought the game if there wasn't microtransactions would make up for the amount of, microtransaction money that they're getting off of this. I just don't get the process of it. Monolith seems like a good studio with good people, but this was a forced way for them to get extra money. You make a game good and the number of the sales will give you the money you need. And on top of that, they are trying to sell the season pass or the DLC for extra money, so it's not like you're getting free stuff out of this at all. There's no reason for the microtransactions in this game, but fortunately, it does not kill the game. The game is still amazingly fun, even with this curse, this nasty disease that the gaming industry has right now, and it's only going to get worse. The dark age is coming, guys, so brace yourself. The amount of time that they put into putting in this this flaky market system. They could have spent making the core aspects of the game more enjoyable, making more diversity in the orcs, making it to where in the cutscenes you actually see the armor that you have and not just the base armor. You know, the amount of time that they put into this extra way of getting money could have made the game even greater. I mean, this game could have been a 10 out of 10, but this market thing is making it not hit that level, and it sucks. But such is life, it's just a video game, and I'm not going to let it ruin my time with the game so far. So later on, I'm going to give you a more in-detailed actual review. This is just me talking about how I feel about the game after playing it for a couple days, and it's a good way for me to kind of get a little bit more personal with you guys, you know? So I'm going to keep on making some Shadow of War videos for a while now, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy them. It's been great. We're pretty much at 1,000 subscribers now, so that is freaking key. So definitely just go ahead, give us a like, give us a subscribe. It'll be awesome. Me and Alistar will appreciate it more than you know it. So I will see you guys next time. I'm going to go and play more of the game. Peace out.